back to Working Dragon Mystic's runic class. Okay, now in the introduction we went over a few things that you'd want for this class. Flashcards, possibly some wooden discs, and obviously a set of runes will be needed at some point. So our first goal in this class is to actually go over the runes and learn them. Now in some classes students get overwhelmed because they're presented with all 24 or 18 runes. With that said, let me be clear. There is two sets of runes that is most commonly used. There's the Elder Futhark, which contains 24 runes, and the Younger Futhark, which contains 18 runes, and it's a condensed version. In this class, we will be following the Elder Futhark, and the shapes of the runes that we will be given. There's some runes that have multiple possible shapes for the runes. So we will be using the most common reproduced shape of every rune, but do feel free if in your research you find a shape you prefer better for that rune and speaks better to you to go ahead and use that. So the first question you may have is, Drake, what's an Aett? You keep using this word. Aett essentially means 8. It is the first 8 runes. The runes are broke up into 3 aetts, or 3 rows of 8. Each aett is assigned to an entity, in this case Freyja. So, if you will, go ahead and get out your flashcards that you should have by now, or a notebook and piece of paper as we go through these. The first rune on our list is FEHU. In the runic alphabet, FEHU represents the letter F, and the key words of this rune for magic and divination is energy, wealth, and new beginnings. I want you to make sure to learn these key words we give with these runes, because these are a broad spectrum of what this rune means and what it can do. This is by no means complete. You could spend an entire lifetime meditating on a single rune and continuing to learn more about it and its wisdom. The next rune we see here on screen is URUZ. Its alphabetical representation is the letter U. Its key words that I want you to learn are strength, vitality, and transformation. The third rune on our list, THURISAZ, has the alphabetical representation TH. The key words to learn for this rune are reactive force, destruction, and defense. The fourth rune in Freyja's Aett is Ansuz. Alphabetical representation, the letter A. The key words for this rune that we're going to be wanting to make sure we learn are mind, self, and communication. The fifth rune in this Aett, seen here on screen, is RAIDHO, sometimes pronounced RAIDHO. Its alphabetical representation is R. The key words that you're going to want to learn for this rune is pathways, reason, and travel. KENAZ here is the next rune in the Aett. Its alphabetical representation is K and can be used to represent a C as well. The key words for this rune are creativity, shaping, and controlled energy. The seventh rune in this Aett is the rune GEBO, which you see here on screen. GEBO's alphabetical representation is G. The key words for GEBO are gift, sacrifice, and hospitality. The eighth rune in this Aett is Wunjo. It has the alphabetical representation of W, and the key words for this rune that you're going to want to learn are joy, harmony, and well-being. Okay, now that you have that, I would actually take the rune, and I'd write the name of the rune here at the top. And then I'd draw the rune real large right here. In this case, FEHU. I got it drawn on here. And then at the bottom, below the rune, right here on this bottom half, I would write the 3 key words. In this case, energy, wealth, and new beginnings. I actually went ahead and wrote it in runic alphabet as well to make it more difficult to read. That way it would force me to learn those keywords better. You can start out with it in English and then make a second set of cards later using the runic alphabet as you've progressed and learned them, understood them. Now, the reason we start with 8 is I want you to drill these runes at least for a week solid and really get to know them. I want you to do your drill twice a day. And what do I mean by drill? Well, I want you to take your runes. I want you to make your 8 flashcards. By the end of this, we'll have 24 flashcards. And I actually want you to go through there. I usually like to keep my thumb over the words. I want you to look at the rune, and I want you to call out what it means. So for FEHU, you'd say the name of the rune while looking at it. You want to be staring at the rune. FEHU, energy, wealth, new beginnings. Flip over. URUZ, strength, vitality, transformation. Flip over. THURISAZ, reactive force, destruction, protection. Ansuz, mind, self, communication. And I want you to keep flipping through them. Now, it is easiest if you start these in order and do it that way. Though eventually I would, after maybe the first day, I'd start mixing them up depending on how good you're doing with them. Or even start mixing them up later in the week. I would definitely start mixing them by day 3, because you don't want to just get in the repetitiveness of where you know the runes in order. You want to make sure you're mixing them up and changing that order so that you are sure you're actually learning it and not just the order and the repetition of saying it. That's kind of important here. Also, if you have a friend or family member who's interested in learning the runes with you, or who's willing to help you drill and do the flashcard method of learning these runes, do so. Now, over the next week, while you're doing this, if you want to, you can actually shuffle these and lay them out, or draw one from the 8 and do like a small 1 rune reading. Also, over the next week, what I want you to do every day is pick a rune and meditate on it. Just sit down calmly, meditate on it, and the 3 key words. This may sound overly simple, but if you saw our video on basic meditation techniques, this is a focused meditation. It's very easy to do. You just sit down, you put your focus on the rune, you meditate on it, and you meditate on those 3 meanings. And what those meanings could mean to you. How can you utilize these? How could they change your life? What could they bring to you? Now, I know there's only 7 days in a week, and there's 8 runes. So what do? You can easily do this meditation twice a day. And if you wanted to, you could do 2 runes every day. And therefore, you're going to be able to meditate on a few of the runes twice if you want to. But you should be able to get all 8 in that way, no problem. And if all you can do is manage to get 1 day where you do the rune meditation twice, go ahead and do it. And do the meditation for a good 10 minutes if at all possible. I'd say 5 minimum. We'll call that your homework along with your runic drills. Now, I know what you're thinking. Drake, we just covered the key words. What about going in depth with each rune? We are planning to do that in this class, and we will do that. But first, we want to learn all the runes and have an understanding of them before we dive deeper. So don't worry, that's coming. Just go ahead and get your homework done. Learn these 8, learn these keywords, do the meditations. I promise we're building something great here. And by the end of this class, you're going to see this was all worth it. I know it sounds simple right now. But go ahead, do your drills, do your meditations, and I'll see you in the next lesson.